Gabriel Lal. This is Gabriel Lal on Kaicho Radio 99.1 FM. Today's discussion on the National Outlook centers around the visit. That particular visit. Thank you for joining us. All Guyana has been abuzz. The media is awash with reports of the pending visit by U.S. Secretary of State Michael Pompeo to these shores between now and the end of the weekend. It sounds like Friday, Saturday, from what I understand. Now, this came as a big surprise for most citizens because U.S. Secretaries of States do not visit a country such as Guyana. They go to Europe, they go to India, they go to the Middle East, they go to Russia. And then there's a whole slew of protocols that are part of the convention that must be followed. But here it is almost like a stealth operator in the night. We wake up to learn late last week, Saturday, Sunday, that this visit by Secretary Pompeo is just about here. Now, what could be so demanding, which is my problem, what could be so particularly urgent at this point in time that the Secretary has to come here, and has to come here himself? Get me straight. We welcome a man of this stature. We welcome any foreign dignitary who's that high up in government of his country. And Secretary Pompeo is no exception. But the whole thing just looks and has a feeling of surprise, maybe even shock, that, like I said, someone of his stature would come here on such short notice. These visits to state capitals are planned way in advance, and yet we have a government here that's only 5-6 weeks old, and we have this dignitary of no mean order turning up here. Look, the Honorable Minister of Natural Resources has gone on record publicly as saying that he's not here to discuss Payara. I do not believe for a moment that Mr. Pompeo's visit has anything to do with oil or Exxon or Payara or thorny contract controversies with the multinational, the American multinational. I think what he's here is about how to get to Venezuela. Now, I want to be clear also, and I want to be very clear on this, that I have no issues with that. And I speak not as an American, I speak as a Guyanese. And here's why. The Venezuelans forever have said, over the past century, and in recent times more stridently, more fiercely, that 2/3 of our land belongs to them. I have a problem there. Anytime anybody comes and tells me that 2/3 of my house, the rich part of the house of my existence, the place where the wealth is, if there's such a thing, and they want to take it away from me, I've got a problem. I've got a serious problem. So anybody who's an enemy of my enemy is my friend. And if the Americans are the enemy of my neighbors who want, let me emphasize, who want 2/3, 50,000 plus square miles, don't ask me to convert that to kilometers, they want 2/3 of our territory, the richest part of the territory, then how can I be silent about that? How can I not welcome Mr. Pompeo? My concern about this is that what will Guyana get for this? Not too long ago, we were talking about Guyana becoming the 51st state. It looks as though it's almost here. My sense is that the new, young PPP administration is in debt up to its neck to the Americans for election favors. I believe that if Mr. Granger had acquiesced to allowing Voice of America and God knows who else and what else to take up shop in the interior to destabilize Venezuela, then the election's result would have been totally different. Make no mistake about that. That is how my fellow Americans operate. And we should know that by now after many elections and many controversies. But that's beside the point. The point here is that I think that Mr. Pompeo is here first and foremost about Venezuela. And I don't know how our new government is going to extricate itself from the vig, as the mafia would say, the vig that is owed, that this man is coming to collect. Okay? Now, I think what we can do, we can leverage and piggyback to the best of our ability in these conversations, which are going to be behind closed doors, which we will only get some bland, sanitized version for the press and for the public. I think the best that Guyana, our leaders should do, is to piggyback something about Exxon on that. Exxon is an American corporation. Exxon has a close relationship with the White House and the State Department. I mean, all talk aside, that is a fact. So therefore, I am saying we should see, as we say, okay, come and do this or come and do that, we should see what we could get in return. A quid pro quo? Why not? Listen to this. The Americans are going to be here anyway, sometime sooner than later, and they're going to look to use us to get to over there. So I say, why not get our pound of flesh in exchange? Until the next time, this is Gabriel Lal on the National Outlook on Kaicho Radio 99.1 FM. Thank you for joining us.